In this video, we are going to see how to rationalize the denominator by using the conjugates. Now let's talk about conjugates. Now look at this example. Now here we have a square root expression in the denominator, which is not allowed. We have to get rid of this square root expression from the denominator, which means we are going to rationalize the denominator here, meaning we are going to have an integer value instead of this square root expression. Now let's see how. Now given this expression, we are going to multiply this by 1. Remember this from the quotient rule, as we multiply with square root expressions. Now we do this. We will multiply this expression by 3 plus root 2 over 3 plus root 2. Now you see that this actually is 1, because 3 plus root 2 over 3 plus root 2, a number, an expression divided by itself is 1. So when I multiply it with this expression, I change nothing. But on the other hand, I multiply the denominator here, 3 minus square root of 2, with its conjugate. This is called as conjugate. I multiply the given expression with its conjugate to change it into an integer. Now let's see how it becomes an integer. So multiplying 5 over 3 minus root 2 with 3 plus root 2 over 3 plus root 2 will give you the following. You're going to multiply 5 and 3 plus root 2 at the top, and you're going to multiply 3 minus root 2 and 3 plus root 2 at the bottom. Now remember, if you have two numbers in subtraction times two numbers in addition, from term 2 you should remember that this is nothing but a squared minus b squared, which is called as the difference of squares. So when you multiply 3 minus root 2 and 3 plus root 2, you should have 3 squared minus, because it's the difference of squares, square root of 2 squared. And at the top it is 5 times 3, 15, plus 5 times root 2, which is 5 root 2. What we have here is, well, the top we can't do anything. It is 15 plus 5 root 2. But here at the bottom, 3 squared is 9. Square root of 2 squared is, as they cancel each other, 2. So it's 9 minus 2, which we have 15 plus 5 square root of 2 divided by 7. Now you see here we have an integer value, as here we have a square root value. So if we go all over this, we have this expression here. We multiply it by its conjugate. Conjugate is, well, I just change the sign in the middle and get the conjugate, you see? And of course I have to multiply this expression by 1, so I write it as 3 plus root 2 over 3 plus root 2, and then I perform the multiplication, so it is 5 times 3, 15, 5 times root 2, 5 root 2, and in the bottom part it is 3 times 3, 3 squared, 3 times root 2, it's 3 root 2, minus 3 root 2, they cancel each other out, and minus 2, minus root 2 times minus root 2, you have minus root 2 squared, which we cancel. Then we have, well, the top part is the same. In the bottom part, 3 squared is 9, root 2 squared is 2, so it's 9 minus 2, which is 7. This is how we rationalize the denominator, which is the bottom part of the fraction. Now let's see the conjugate examples. Now let's have a table of conjugates of the square root expressions. So let's start with the following. Now let's write the conjugates of these square root expressions. What I have to do is I don't change anything but just the sign in between. So this means the conjugate of 5 minus root 3 is nothing but 5 plus root 3. And the conjugate of 3 plus root 10 is nothing but 3 minus root 10. And the conjugate of 1 minus 2 root 2 is nothing but 1 plus 2 root 2. And here at the last one, it is 4 plus 3 root 7 here, and the conjugate is 4 minus 3 root 7. So you see, only the sign changes. Here it is plus, it becomes minus. Here it's minus, it becomes plus. Everything else is the same. I only change the sign to get the conjugate. So let's have another example. Now here we have 7 over 2 minus square root of 7. Now we want to rationalize the denominator so that it will be simplified. So what I have to do is I have to multiply 7 over 2 minus square root of 7 by its conjugate, which is 2 plus square root of 7 over 2 plus square root of 7. Now, the multiplication will be like that. 7 times 2 plus square root of 7 here at the top, and the bottom I'm going to have nothing but difference of squares, which is 2 squared minus square root of 7 squared. Now let's do the calculations. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times root 7 is, I'm going to write it together, 7 root 7, because I cannot multiply integers and square root expressions, over 2 squared is nothing but 4 minus square root of 7 squared, which they cancel out, will give you 7. Now the top is the same again, 14 plus 7 square root of 7 over, now the bottom is minus 3. Well, there is no problem having a negative number at the bottom, but we prefer to write it here in front of the fraction line. So it will be minus 14 plus 7 square root of 7 over 3. So you see what I did is I just carried out this minus sign here to the top. I write it here. So if you simplify it like this, it will be much better. So this is how you simplify this expression. You just find the conjugate of 2 minus square root of 7, which is 2 plus square root of 7, and then you do the multiplication. So now is your turn. You will simplify the expressions by using the conjugates. Now simplify these expressions and show me your answers.